Hey students, it's me again, Mr. Dowd, and this time I want to talk about our next assignment, the 13 Colonies Data Analysis assignment. In the Google Classroom, you will notice a new banner here called English Colonies, and the first thing underneath it is this assignment. And if you take a look, there's three things in here right now. Three things that you are going to need to deal with. Well, you'll need to deal with at least two of them. There will be another thing added, and that is this video when I'm done. Now, what is in here, I'll just show you first, is a video that was already in a previous assignment. It is a vocabulary video. It is just a quick rundown of the history of the 13 colonies. It takes 3 minutes, and this is really here if you need a refresher. If you've already done the English colonies map assignment about the 3 colonial regions, man, you may or may not need to do this. It's pretty painless. It's a 3-minute review. It doesn't hurt. Now, the assignment itself is this assignment here. It is a Venn diagram, only in this case it isn't the usual 2 circles. It is a triple Venn diagram, 3 circles. And each circle in this diagram represents one of the English colonial regions. So keep in mind, each circle represents more than just one colony. And in these circles, I want you to put some information. And that information is differences and similarities. You're going to compare and contrast. In this section of the circles here, would be things that were only true for the New England colonies. In this section here, things only true for the southern colonies. Likewise, this section here, things that are only true for the middle colonies. And I would like everyone to find at least 2 things to put in each of these sections. Now, when I say only true, what I mean is only true in the large sense, that what would be true for most people or a majority of the people. For instance, if in New England many people made their living through fishing, many more people than did in the middle and the southern colonies, then you could put that in here. You could get a text box and you could put fishing. And then you've got that now added to your circle. That doesn't mean that nobody in the middle colonies ever went fishing, or the same for the southern colonies. It means that fishing was a prominent way that people in the New England colonies made their living. By the way, if you need more room, it's easy just to highlight and change the size of your text so you can fit more stuff in there. Now, that might really become relevant for this middle section here. This middle intersection where all 3 circles overlap is where you would put things that are true for all of these colonies. And I would also like you to have 2 things in this section right here. Now, in the case of these other overlapping sections, these are the areas where only 2 circles overlap. So, for instance, in this section here, you would put things that would be true for New England and for middle colonies, but not for the southern colonies. Again, I'm asking for 2 differences for each of the colonies. I'm asking for 2 similarities for all of them. If you can, I'd like you to find 1 each for the intersecting regions. With the sources I've given you, that may not be possible. So I'm going to leave that up to you. But 2 in each outside area to represent things unique to the 3 different colonial regions, and 2 things in the middle that they all shared in common. That's what I want before you turn this diagram in. Now, going back to the lesson, here's where the bulk of your information comes from. This is part of our Discovery Education textbook, and when it loads, you'll see it opens up as a little data analysis section. And it has a little cover sheet here with an image, and if you go and follow the next button, it is going to open up a little more detailed information about what this data tells us. You've got a handy timeline here on the side, and then once you click next, it takes you to the actual data analysis. And in here, each of these squares has information about different colonial regions. So for instance, if you click this first one here, it talks about the different climates, and the data it gives you is the average annual extreme minimum temperatures. This is looking at the regions. How cold does it actually get at its coldest? And so you can see up here in the top part of Maine and New Hampshire and New York, it can get pretty cold. It can get down to as low as -30 in the middle of winter. And then you get all the way down to the southern colonies, and you can see, well, usually it's, it doesn't get lower than 10 or 20 degrees at the coldest point of the winter. So this is one way to show differences in climate. This return to analysis section brings you here, and you can look at this, for instance, imports and exports by colonial region. So the New England colonies are, and this will tell you on the side, in thousands of pounds of stuff. By the way, import is stuff that is coming into your colonies. Export is stuff that is going out of your colonies. So these give you the data for that. And right here, the blue is imports and the red is exports. Down at the bottom part, you have some questions. I'm asking you to fill out the Venn diagram. You could certainly answer these questions if you want to, but I am not requiring it for this assignment. So look at your data. Ask questions if you're not quite sure what the data means. I don't want to make this a 15-minute video, so I'm not going to interpret all of them right now. But you'll have a chance to get to me in class or send me an email if you don't understand. This last one is for you to write a response to a question. Again, what I'm asking is not for you to do this, but for you to do the Venn diagram that's in the Google Classroom. So don't worry about answering, don't worry about the submit. Use the data to help you fill in the Venn diagram that shows the differences. Going back to the classroom, that's pretty much it. This is your lesson, and best of luck with your Venn diagram. I look forward to seeing them soon.